move this over here. I need to shrink my OBS window here because don't need to really see all of that. This can be shrunken. Oh, actually, I got that wrong. This needs to be here. This needs to be moved over here. And yeah, that'll do it for that, boy. All right, cool. So where we left off yesterday, I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. But where we left off yesterday was I gotta finish up P1S3T1, finish up P1S4T1, and then remove all the fix me, dummy data, and course hack stuff that I added in there to make progress on what I was doing. So that's what I'll be doing today. Right now, I've got my food here cooling down, and I'm gonna grab me a drink real quick. I'm starving. So fucking hungry, bro. Yeah, no, I'm starving. I'm very hungry. So yeah, alright, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday. I only slept for 3 hours. Give me a break. Give me a break, bro. Give me a break. I only slept for 3 hours, man. Not necessarily, you know, in the mood for a shower. All right. Let's get this ball on roll, whatever the hell that phrase is. Let's see. Do I need this real big? No, I don't. It's not the size that matters. It's the way that I use it. So, yeah. Don't need this real big. That's what I'm going to work on now. So, P1S3T1. I was working on that before, you know, before I was not working on it, before I went to sleep. So, let me pull that son of a bitch up. Sublime Visual Studio CAD. I'm gonna eat a little bit too, because I'm starving, like I said 5 times already. Starving. I want some goddamn food, man. Let's see. Open Foodea. Open recent. Open global includes. That's going to be there. I need this to be up so that I can quickly like click it like that. Okay. This still isn't loaded. There it goes. It's loaded now. Alright, testing Tulio. Oh. Can't forget. Gotta move this to prod in Prague. Prod in Prague. Right there. Skablam. Production in progress. I gotta finish this as fast as I can. I've been working on this thing for like a week. And, I mean, when you look at it, you're like, you've been working on that motherfucker for a week, dude? It looks like garbage. Well, the thing that I've been working on for a week, I can do CSS no problem. You know what I mean? I can go in there and do some styling and throw that shit together in like an hour. I can do some mock-up, you know, quick little design. I can style it out. But the thing that's taken me a week, one, the first time I built it, it took me like a day or two because the shit's complex. Look, there's almost 1,000 lines of code of just pure JavaScript. And I removed a lot. Before it was like 600, 700 lines of code, pure JavaScript, and it was a lot of comments. Now it's not even that many comments. Now it's just comments explaining like, oh, create text event inputs. Oh, that's super basic. But before there were giant chunks of comments that I used for like JS doc and shit like that to kind of explain stuff, and I removed a lot of that because it wasn't really helping me, and it was just making it a little more difficult for me to find shit. So what I did was remove all that, and so that was the first iteration. Had all that shit in it. It had some classes and stuff, which was even more extra code that I didn't even need to write. But the first iteration was completely wrong in relation to the second iteration. So I had a meeting. We were in the meeting. We were like, you know what? I think this is what, it's supposed to do. So my TL was pretty much telling me, do this because I think that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, dude, I got no fucking idea, man. And he's like, yeah, just do this. I think that's what you're supposed to do. If it's wrong, we'll figure it out. And then finally, the main guy, like the main developer, whatever the fuck he'd be called, project lead developer, I don't fucking know. Anyway, he finally was available to talk because the dude's busy as fuck. The dude's a robot, man, I swear. He's an awesome guy. I love that guy, but the dude needs to give himself a break. He's gonna kill himself with work. But so what happened was, second iteration, talked with my TL. Second iteration ended up being wrong too, but it was a step in the right direction for what needed to happen. So I built it all out, got as far as I could, got blocked by some cores bullshit, and yeah, so ended up having to have this like meeting cycle of like whatever the hell it is, hey, I need to talk about this. I'm having this issue. I'm having these blocks. This is progress slowed. The normal bullshit that happens. Ended up getting with the the main project lead, whatever the fuck his title is, and it ended up being completely wrong again. But luckily, now this iteration of the code is exactly the way it's supposed to be. I hope. It's a lot closer to the way that it's supposed to be now than it was before for the first two iterations. So third time's a charm, right? So yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's happening here. What I'm doing now I just have to finish P1S3 T1, P1S4 T1, get those in a ready state, whatever the fuck you want to call it, get those in a close enough to being done. There's still microservices that aren't live yet, so I can't even fully test this whole thing. And on top of that, I keep getting some bullshit input validation errors for the post keys. Doesn't even make any fucking sense. So I gotta figure that shit out, but it'll be fine. So yeah, I guess we can get on that. Oh yeah, what I was doing last night before I went to bed, I was trying to figure out how to close the socket when the user closes this. Well, I mean, the socket I obviously is going to close, but I need to call this socket close function here. So in the WebSocket up here, right here, it'll call this anonymous function here that I have assigned to the onClose property of socket, because it needs to send a message of this through the socket to the back end and close, quote unquote, close the socket connection on the back end. Pretty much it just needs to tell the back end, hey dude, stop sending shit. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Okay. That's what we want to do now. So I was working on that, but I think I'm just going to scrap that for now. I'm going to move this down to... Yeah, I'm going to move this way down. And I'm going to add some sort of comment here that says, Test logic for closing socket for sending socket close to backend before when closing window. Go. Cool. Tab. Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay, so got that figured out. I need to turn this mic this way. Hello, 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 hello. Yo, 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 testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Let's say, yeah, boy. P1S8 T P1S3 T1. So where we left off was we have this socket.send, set timeout, and then send the next the next thing there. A second later, we got this socket on message. This is going to call P1S4 T1 to retrieve information. P1S4 T1. So I need to have some conditional logic in there. That sends blank data through the last post key in that protocol. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's see. P1S4T1. I'm thinking I'm done with P1S3T1. I think I wrote that note so that I would just come back and double check everything. On error, there was an error with the WebSocket connection. Show the error. Socket.onClose. Closing socket. Socket.send. Control interface not active. Yep. All good. All Gucci. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. Let's go to the Trello board and we're gonna check the TSS1 to see what we gotta do next. Alright. Open a TCP stream connection on port 80 to P1S3T1. We got that. Send the control processor UID. Send the control processor UID that we received from P1S2T1 to start receiving user interaction events. When we receive a message from DWG platform that a user interaction event has occurred, we connect to P1S4T1 to get the details of the event. So we have all of that. What's happening is in P1S3 we check, do we have an OTP? We don't have an OTP. We call P1S2T2 to get an OTP. I use the async function so that I can await this and store whatever I send back. I'm just doing this so that it doesn't try to execute all this while this is still happening. I'm not really sure if I could probably test that. Yeah, I'm gonna test that real quick before I put that in the before I push that to GitHub as a final and look like an idiot. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say I'm a console log before P1S2T2 call. down, move it down. I'm gonna say after. I'm pretty sure this is how it's gonna execute. And then in P1S2T2, I'm gonna say we got this return here. Let's get rid of that return. I'm gonna say we got this return here. Let's see, P1S2T2. All right, yeah, at the top or right here, I'm just gonna say console. Jesus Christ, console.log inside P1S2 T2. So in theory, we'll get it before, we'll get it inside, and then we'll get it after. That's what I'm kind of hoping. If that happens, then we're Gucci. We're good. We ain't gotta worry. If it doesn't happen, we're shit out of luck. Fresh. Do some of this stuff. Let's inspect. Let's inspect. Oh, it's over here. Let's move that to the right side of the screen. Over console. Let's register CP. It's gonna give us some shit. 400 error like normal. Everything's true. That's good. Let's register the interface. Everything's good. Okay. It's weird that this post happened. P1S8. Oh, that's T3. Okay, that's why. So yeah. Cool. Check DWG. That should pass. Method not allowed. Yeah, it's and all that stuff. That's good. That's good. 400. Yeah. Okay. And then open TCP. So this is where it should log that stuff before, inside, after. So yeah, that's perfect. So it looks like that worked as planned. Res is not defined, 255, so that's a good catch. 255. Where the hell is 255? If res. Oh yeah, so I don't need this. Where's the closing end of that? This right here. Boom. Do that and format document. Boom. Okay. So now P1S2T2, we can get rid of this console log. So I mean, now we know that that's working, like the way that the stack is. Call that, we get that information, then we use socket, blah blah blah. Stuff moves after pepper. Okay. I feel like I need to change the LUT. I'm like super blue. It is blue in here. Why is it so blue? I bet. If I go to, yeah, let's do this. Let's use exposure. Auto exposure. Brightness down. There we go. Looks a little better. A little better, man. A little better. Okay. Yeah, that's a little better. Let's see. So P1S2T2, that's working. The WebSocket isn't working because it's not a real thing yet, but it should be working eventually. I'm gonna do a little bit of research. Let's see, socket, new socket, always prefer WSS, WS, WS. I'm gonna make a note of that for whoever. Let's see where WS for no encryption. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Socket dot open, socket.s. Play. Open. JavaScript. Sending to server. Okay, so what if I said connection closed, cleanly code? Can I edit this code? Can I? I want to check. I want to create a little function, see if it runs. Alright, let me make sure that it actually works. Click to enter run. Okay, cool. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Let me socket on close, on message, on open. Let socket. We're going to say let socket. Let socket. And then we're going to create a function. Function open. Right, and we're going to move all of this logic we're going to move all this logic inside inside this, and then we're going to say open. Like that, right? We're going to call open. We're going to call open. I need to make sure that it's actually using my code, not previous code. Event.reason. Let's see, sending to server. Message. So on message. Alert data received from server. We're gonna hit server twice. Connection, setting to server, message data received from server, hello from server. Hey, cool, okay, so it does work like that. So you have a function, you create stuff. This should actually say socket equals new WebSocket. Yep, it still works like it's supposed to. Time. That. Cool. Okay, so that's actually good news because that means my stuff's just fine. Create socket connection. I'm gonna add a little note in here to let whoever looks at this to know that even after fuck it. That's fine. Let's see. Message on error on close. Are we good? Are we done? I think we're done with this. I think we're done with P1S3T1. So let me P1S3T1 done. P1S4T1. If retrieve. So if retrieve, what are we doing? So we got this thing here. This takes an event. If retrieve is true, I'm gonna leave a note. If retrieve is true, event. Retrieve is true. Event should be null. There you go. Let's see, so if we're trying to retrieve, then I need to make sure that init is just an empty string. So actually event can just be this. And then it would be event equals an empty string. So I don't think I need this conditional, do I? Retrieve is true. Yeah, I think I could just say event. I'll put this back in front of my face so you can hear me a little better. I think all I gotta do is just have the event there, and then if it's omitted, it's just an empty string, and if it's not omitted, then Yeah, so I don't think I need this retrieve thing. So I'm gonna go through all of the P1S4 T1s and get rid of these Boolean values here. All the calls to it. Let me get rid of that retrieve. Yep. False. Let me get rid of that. Just send the message. I mean, because even with that, all I would have to do is check if message is truthy or falsy. I wouldn't really need that Boolean value. Because this would technically also be a Boolean value. It's empty, so it's falsy. It would equate to false. Right, wrong, no, yeah. All right, so let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's format document. Boom. Post for sending events. Not sure what the difference is yet. I do know what the difference is. There is no difference. So we have an event, global time asked. Let me double check and see what that is, because I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. This is where the controller receives the user interaction events that happen since it last connected to P1S4T1 and sends any unsent hardware state changes. What was that sound? Was that my phone? That was my phone. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. We've pretty much got it all fleshed out. Let's see. What am I looking at now? Oh yeah, I want to look at the SPD right here. And we want to go to what? What are we going to? P1S4 T1, I think. Yeah, P1 S4 T1. All right, I'll be back. I have to use the restroom. Let me turn off my camera. My mic. Tristan's back again. BRB, bitches. Okay, queue user interactions. Common auth post handler, data validation. Blah bitty blah blah blah. Queue user interactions is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this one. Nope, that's wrong too. I'm looking for this one. All right. P1S4T1. Let me move this so you can see that I am doing stuff over here. Oh shit, that's the wrong thing. Zervigo. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so P1S4T1, process interaction requests and status feedback. Let's see, other post keys, of course. P1S4T1 OTP ID, integer, yes, OTP ID, value of OTP received from the CP. Okay, so this was renamed because it wasn't like this before, unless it just wasn't updated. So a lot of times it's safe to look at the actual Google Sheet rather than the HTML version of it, because someone has to like manually update that. Someone has to click the tool button. I'll show you here in a second. I think it's an add-on. Oh no, it's a DGC tool thing over here. Let me see. Pretty sure. If it ever loads. Jesus Christ, it's taken a year, man. Oh my god, bro. That's what it sounds like outside. What are we doing? Okay, microservices. Yo, why does it still say work? Okay, there we go. DGNet actions. And then you have to create the HTML SPD. Okay, so let me make this a little bigger. Command F, P1S4T1. Let's go down, right here. Oh yeah, so yeah, it is. Someone did update it. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, because when I created this, OTP ID didn't have the P1S4 part. P1S4T1 dash. OTP ID, OTP is P1S4T1. P1S4T1 dash OTP, P1S4T1 dash CICP ID. CICP UID. P1S4T1 time asked. Time underscore asked. Yes. P1S4T1 events underscore log. Yes. Okay. I feel like I should implement where when you click a button, it's sending, and then once the response comes back, then you can click another button. So I feel like it should disable the buttons, and then whenever it gets done sending, it enables the buttons. Otherwise, yeah, I feel like it would be, I don't know. What happens if I click a bunch of buttons? Let's see what happens. If I say, oh, I want to do power HDMI, HDMI2, mute, some button, boom, boom. Okay, so I guess they do kind of kill. Okay, that's not too bad. And of course I got something happening here. Notification. Please don't be something. Bossum added. Debounce, production in progress. So I'm still assigned to this, but oh, okay. Yeah, fix the initial return message issue mentioned by Tristan. branch. I don't even remember what that is. Add debounce. 396 commence. There's no way. There's no way that this has 396 commits. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, because of that. But I'm the one who did this. I added this logic, boy. Oh, wait, what the fuck? Oh yeah, because I added a whole nother section there. If abs percent minus signal strength is greater than or equal to 10. Oh yeah, it looks like I did a lot more than I actually did. That's cool. Literally all I did was added this one line. But because here, I'll show you. Literally all I did was added this one line. The debounce for the signal strength. But because it's another if statement and I had to push everything over, it looks like I added a bunch of code. So when you first look at that, you're like, oh shit, he had a bunch of code. But then you really dig into it and you're like, oh, what the fuck? He just added one line, god damn it. Then I said, and I thought I had a pretty good point on this one. Because they asked for a debounce for when the debounce to have it update every 10. And I'm like, every 10? What do you mean? Do you mean update every multiple of 10? Or do you mean update every change of 10? Because there's a difference. There's a difference in the way that you write the logic. And for me, common sense would say update every change of 10, not every multiple of 10. But I've learned, even if you think something's common sense, it's better to ask because you never know what the intentions of the person asking you to do that task are. You don't know if they're thinking, oh, well, I was thinking every 10%. And then you'd say, well, if you do every 10%, this type of issue could come up. And then they're like, oh, you're right. Okay, every change of 10 then. Or, something like that. Or just, they may say, no, every 10%, that's what we want. And you say, okay. But you don't go write it every 10 change, because then you write it every 10 change, and then you got to go back, even though it's just one line of code, you got to go back, you got to change it. And they're like, well, I think it's just better to ask. If someone fires you because you asked a question to clarify, to make sure that you're going to do it exactly how they want it, then they're pretty fucking stupid. In my opinion. All right, that's cool. So that was moved to ready for secondary testing. This is going to show if it's correct. If my code worked. And man, I so hope my code works. I'm always afraid when I write code that it's not going to work. That's why I test the hell out of my code. That code I couldn't test. So that was like, okay, this makes sense. This should be the way it's done. But I couldn't test it, so I have no idea. It's completely untested. This code that I'm writing now, I test the hell out of it. I don't know how many times I ran tests on this thing. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? OTP, we're getting these keys correct. And now that these keys have changed, that makes me want to go back and check all my keys. OTP ID. OTP ID value of the OTP received from the CP. This would not be local storage OTP ID. This would be global data.otp data ID. This would be OTP. Let me just check and make sure. OTP received from the CP. Global data.otp data. OTP. CICP UID. I don't think there's a global for this. Let me check. Global data.cicp. Let me just copy this down. Global data.cicp. CICP UID. Global data.cicp UID. This is so deep into the thing. I think CICP UID. CICP UID. Am I updating that within my parser? CICP UID. Let's go down and check. Wait, what was that? CP post inputs. Yeah. Okay. CICP. We're looking for not P1. Not P1S4. Not P1S8. Control interface UID. Global data.cicp UID equals UID. Okay. This is gonna have to be a 3. Control interface not found. Let's see. We gotta change all these 5s to 3s, except for this one. Yep. Looking good. All right. Looks good to me, buddy old pal. Build list from response data. That's not right. I'm gonna have to go through and check those. Okay, let's see. Where were we at again? P1S4, T1. CICP UID. We're not gonna get that because that, some changes, whatever. Let's see. Global data dot CICP UID. Yeah, I already had that written. Last time, so time asked. P1S4 T1. Time asked. What is this? Number of milliseconds from the last time CP successfully asked for changes from P1S4 T1. This will help with the time issues if there is wrong time on CP. So number of milliseconds from the last time CP successfully asked for changes. And he told me that Jesus, sleep. He told me that P1S4 T1 sends and receives actually updates and gets new event data within the same request. So what that means is I would post, if I posted events, when the response comes back, if there are any events that occurred that this CICP didn't execute, it would send back that data, those events. Yeah, that's how that works. That is how that works. So, I think number of milliseconds from the last time CP successfully asked the changes. Yeah, so I mean that would be last time asked equals date.now. Yeah, that makes sense. And then last time asked would equal this if it's successful. So it actually put this in the then, not this would go here at the very bottom. That would go there. Actually, the ask would happen right before the fetch. So this would be let now time equal date dot now. That would be when it asked. I'm getting like super specific here. And then this would equal now time. Okay. There we go. Date.now minus global data. Last time asked because date.now is going to be a bigger number than the last time because it's always counting up. So I mean, I think date.now is seconds, right? Let's see. To date.now. So if I say let now time equal date.now, right? And then let new now time equal date.now. In theory, I would get a negative number if I tried to do console.log now time minus new now time. Yeah, okay. So yep, that's right. And then I need a positive number, obviously the same number, but positive if I did now time. Cool. So T1 is for T1. This should actually probably happen way up here. So let now time equal date.now. This would be now time. This would be now time minus global data dot last time checked. Now time, yada yada yada. So I think everything's good. This event is going to be an empty string, or if I pass in events, validates, then not sure what comes back from a event sent. I know what comes back now. Console.log res. Yeah, we want to keep that. If res.data parse response, we don't need that. Let's check what this is going to be sending back. V10 P1S4T1. Let's go from the bottom. So this is receive. Receive. There we go. Send event check. And then it's going to be sending like button release, button press. So I'm going to be getting back these events here. So button release, button press release. And I think that's it. That's all that I'm going to be getting back from this. So I can take, let's see. Let's say return res.text, right? And then we have a dot then again, res. We got that. This is the typo, yada yada. Let's move this bad boy down here like that. And then we say res let results equal what I call it? Response splitter res. Just like that. Fucking shorts are all right up the legs. Okay. Results equal response splitter res. Okay, now we got to go to response splitter. Response splitter is going to do that thing, and then we're going to have these button press releases. Jeez. Okay, so let's console log. So we got this. Let's send parse response a thing. So I'm gonna open this up, go to Python thingy here. And let's say parse response. We're gonna pass in a string, right? And we're gonna pass in one of the things from here. I'm gonna pass in the hardest one. So that would be not new events. Oh, come on, where is it? There we go, button press release. Like this. It's got an ID, a timestamp, and a timestamp. So we're going to pass this. We're going to delete this because we know that our function that sends this message to parse response gets rid of that. We're going to take, should probably make these template literals. This is going to be an ID of like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or we'll say 8, 1, 9, 4, 3. This would be a timestamp, so date.now. Also be a timestamp. Say date.now plus random number. Response, we should get this. This is what I wanted. So we got 1, 3, 5, and 7. I just wanted to verify that that's what it was going to be. Button press release. Let's see, let btn id equal data 1. It's not 1. It's 3, 5, 7. It's 3, 5, 7. btn press time and btn rel time. Do something with that information. I don't know what to do with that information. Honestly, I have no idea what to do with that information. Because the TSS1 doesn't mention what you do with that information, I think. Let's see. Web GUI. TSS1. Receives the user interaction events that happened since it last connected to P1S4T1 and sends any unsent hardware state changes. I mean, really, what am I supposed to do with that information? I guess I could create like a text field that'll display all events that are being sent and received, but I mean, it's like, what am I supposed to do with it? Okay. Do something with this information. I mean, I guess I'll just leave it for now. But this is going to have to return true. Return true. And I'm going to have to say if not btn id or not btn press time or not btn rel time, return false. Coolio, coolio. All right. Oh, I forgot I don't have to put let here because I already have these created. Boom. btn id equals data 3. btn press time equals data 5. Yep. Get rid of this shit. And then again, I'm just going to copy this line, Command C, Command V, and then get rid of the release time. Return false, return true, and the same thing here. Command C and V, get rid of the button ID, button press time. Button press time, button release. Yeah, this should definitely be not button press time, but button rel time. Okay. And this would be return true. Delete. Okay, we got those buttons, receiving thingies. So that's good. Almost 1,000 lines of code. It's probably eventually going to be 1,000 lines of code. All right, let's see. Do I have anything to commit? I do have some stuff to commit. Do I have anything useful to commit? Update P1 S4 T1 to properly parse incoming messages. Commit. I feel like this needs to be smaller. There we go. Alright. I feel like I need to take a nap. I am sleepy. But I can't do that yet. I need to get it to where these buttons send stuff now. So what did it look like when I tried to send something? Like click power. Access to fetch from origin null has been blocked by Core's policy. P1 S4 T1. P1 S4 T1. Should have Core's hack in there. And see. Uh, 277. 277. it says ID is not defined. Oh, that's because I moved this into the on open. Now I need it to be exposed. Refresh. Let's try this page again. Register CP. Register interface. Check DWG. Open TCP. WebSocket is already in closing or closed state. What? Oh, wow. Closing socket. 277 again. 277. Socket.send. Closing socket. Socket is already in closing or closed state. Ah, so I can't send this message on close. Let's see. Socket, how to send message on close. TCP close socket directly after send. Unsave. I've been reading the Ultimate SO Linger page, or Why is my TCP not reliable blog post a lot. I recommend you read it too. It discusses edge cases of large data transfers with regards to TCP sockets. I'm not the expert, but after the last byte is sent via send, I call shutdown sock shut WR to trigger a fin to be sent. Then wait for ow motherfucker. God damn, that hurt. Hello, Tension Oak. Let's see. After the last send, I call shutdown sock shut WR to trigger a fin to be sent. Then wait for a subsequent receive call on the socket to return 0 or receive returns 1 and error no is anything other than that bullshit. Then the server does a close on socket. Yeah, I'm probably gonna take a nap soon. I'm pretty tired. But I want to finish this first before I do that. JavaScript. Yeah. When you work hard, you get sleepy. If you're writing a server, you should make sure to send a close frame when the server closes a client connection. The normal TCP socket close method can sometimes be slow and cause applications to think the connection is still open even when it's not. The browser should really do this do this for you when you close or reload the page. However, you can make sure a close frame is sent by capturing the before unload event. Window.beforeUnload equals function, WebSocket.onClose equals function. Disable onClose handler first, WebSocket.close. Interesting. On before unload. So I'm thinking that's what I need to do. And then call WebSocket.close. So socket.close. Oh my god, why'd you put that in the chat? Congratulations. Alright, on before unload, so I want to uncomment this. Socket.close, we want to say socket.on something. Socket.onClose. Okay, so we want to say if socket, I'm going to put this in a conditional thing here. If socket, socket.close, socket.onClose equals null. I can't remember what it was. Oh, equals function, an empty function. Equals function. I guess that. And then the WebSocket.close, socket.close. But I want to send that message though. So I want to take where's the socket? Come on, dude, where is it? Right there. I want to take this and Command X. We can delete this. Oh wait, no, we'll leave that. And this, we will do that. Closing socket, socket.send, socket.close. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. That's really all we gotta do here. On open, on message, yep. And then let me get rid of this. P1 S4 T1 if result row failed parse error. I was testing this, right? So we got from calling WebSocket is already in closing state or closed state. Let's see. So we got this OTP entry stuff. We got that. That's true. That's true. True. That's the OTP stuff, and then what comes after that is that, and that's not going to receive anything because we can't connect right now. So we can send, but we already have that taken care of. Now if I send a command like HTML1 P1S4 dot yada yada P1S4 user interaction requests. Is that what that's called in the thing here? P1S4, where's that? Actually, I can just go to the top here. P1S4 T1 user interaction request. Yep. So that was right. It's post error response. And I don't have any fake data to play with, so I mean, there's really nothing I can do there. 314 cannot read property 1 of null. 314. 314. 314. 314. Right there. Console.log error. What? Null 555. Why is that showing null? 555 console.table data. Interesting. Why is that happening? Oh, I know why. Because I returned that and I didn't actually assign anything. So I mean, what I can do is, because I'm sending, oh, and I send and I get a response back. That's right. So I send. Let's see. We want to. Let's see. We get a response back. We didn't get a response back because that I need to have some error handling in there. I guess we'll say if not 200. P1S4 T1 res if res.status is not equal 200, throw response responded with non 200 status code. Okay, and then console log res. Do that. Alright, gotta hop off stream. Gotta hop in a meeting. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'll try to finish this, do some shit.